Welcome to the second part of our two-part video series supporting your Windows 7 class. This video deals with the new Virtual PC XPMode VM. One of the most challenging tasks that IT professionals have to deal with, especially when deploying a new operating system like Windows 7, is whether or not the applications that are currently being used in our old environment will actually function in the Windows 7 environment. We learned in this module about all the various tools and so forth that ship with Windows 7 or that we can easily obtain from the Microsoft download sites, that we can use them to hopefully tweak applications, tweak environment variables, running compatibility evaluators and so forth, the standard user analyzer, to hopefully allow an application to function as if it's installed right on Windows 7. That is exactly what we really want, correct? We want our applications installed on the Windows 7 product so our users can effectively and efficiently use them. But let me ask you a question. What happens if you have a line of business application that frankly just will not function in the Windows 7 environment? You've tried the compatibility evaluators, you've tried the compatibility wizard, you've run it through the standard user analyzer and tweaked it and tweaked it and tweaked it, but it still fails the user account control mechanism. Well, what do? We can't scrap the entire Windows 7 deployment, which is scheduled for 2 months from now, going out to 1,200 users just because of an application. But as I said, this is a line of business application. We need to come up with another solution that will function for all of our new 1,200 installations as well as users. Well, let's drop back one operating system to Windows Vista. If we had an application that wouldn't function in the Windows Vista world, we had the same basic tools available. Of course, they're better now, but we had the same basic tools available. We could have tested the app and hopefully developed a fix, but if we couldn't, we could still use the Windows Virtual PC product that was out at that time, and we could, in fact, create our own. Yes, I said create our own, meaning install Windows XP into a virtual machine that we've created. And we could have installed the application on top of that XP virtual machine that we created. And the user could, in fact, start that XP virtual machine, log on to the XP virtual machine, and then run their, accounting software right off the XP virtual machine. Well, there's a real downside to that. Think about the questions that the users are going to pose to the help desk, for instance. Think about the time and money that's going to be spent supporting that. We want our users to do their jobs. We want our users to do their jobs efficiently. Users make businesses money. Users make businesses more efficient. We want to give them a product that's easy to use, something they really don't need to understand, right? We just want them to do their job with the application, perform their duties as they're told, and that's really the basis for their jobs, if you think about it in terms of the IT network. Well, what about the questions that product may, in fact, send to the help desk? For instance, what do you mean I have 2 start buttons? Which start button do I use? Well, do I need to start? How do I start this virtual machine to run the application? Where's that application printing? Which one do I shut down when I'm finished? Do I leave both of them up and running all the time? These are very, very typical questions that users asked using that solution. Microsoft came to the rescue with the new Virtual PC product, which ships with, if you choose so, the Windows XPMode Virtual Machine. Now, from the outside, it sounds exactly the same, but on the inside, it is much different. With this product, we do in fact bring up the XPMode Virtual Machine. However, Microsoft has supplied that to us through their Virtual PC website, which I will show you in a minute. And what we can do with that Virtual PC product is we can bring it to life, log on to it as normal, install an application, update the application fully, and that's where the similarities end. We then shut down that XP virtual machine entirely, Yes, I said shut it down. The users will never use the XP Virtual Machine. Well, you may be asking, well, how do they use our application then? Very simply, the XPMode VM performs something that's rather extraordinary. It really wraps that application within the environment variables of Windows 7 and presents that application to the user right here under the Windows Virtual PC folder on the Windows 7 All Programs list. You will see when we're done with this, there will be another folder here under Virtual PC for the virtually hosted application or applications. I'll explain a little bit more as we go through this. Now, in consideration of the time it takes to download these files, they are rather large. The XPMode VM is about 500 megs. I went ahead and downloaded Windows Virtual PC and the Windows XPMode VM from the Windows Virtual PC website, which I'll show you in a minute. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Windows XPMode and I'm going to go ahead and get this virtual machine starting. Okay, now while that's starting, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the Internet Explorer link, and we're going to go out and let's visit, if you will, the XPMode Virtual PC website. Let me go ahead and close this. In the Google search bar, I'm just simply going to type VPC XP Mode. As you can see, I've done this before. That will bring us to the Windows Virtual PC homepage, which is a very simple site. This is where we go ahead and we can begin the downloads and installations. I'm going to click on the orange banner link here, which takes us to the download portion where you're really posed with 3 steps. The first step is really a question. Very simple question. Do I need it? Well, if you have an application that must run on Windows 7 and it must run in such a way that the users are not going to be confused, and that application has been tweaked and polished and everything else with all of your compatibility tools and it just won't work, the answer to that question is yes, I need Windows XP Mode. Step 2, very simple. Select the system, meaning the edition of Windows 7 that you're going to install this on. So we have the starter 32-bit, home premium 32 and 64, professional 32 and 64-bit, enterprise 32 and 64-bit, ultimate 32 and 64-bit. I'm going to go ahead and just choose ultimate 64-bit. That's what I'm running on the machine. We speak English, so I'm going to go ahead and choose English for this. And notice step 3, we have 3 brand new links that popped up. These are really the 3 steps that you may or may not need. You will certainly need the first 2 steps. And the first one is this. Download and install this first, XP Mode. This is about a 500 meg file. You'll download it. You'll double click on it. You will extract it. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to get it completely installed. And what happens, you're basically extracting an XP machine into the virtual environment. You'll have to make some decisions, such as do you want automatic updates, which of course you're going to say yes. It's a regular machine. We always automatically update our machines, right? Service packs, hot fixes, and so forth. So we will choose that. We will do the install first. Second, we will download and install the Windows Virtual PC product. Download it, accept all the defaults when you install it, and it will marry itself perfectly with the XPMode VM. Step 3 is a decision that you have to make. The initial implementation of this product had one major issue with it, and that issue was, very simply, it would not run on any machine that did not have processor or hardware-based virtualization. So if you had a machine that did not support hardware-based virtualization, you could not use this product. Well, that was an issue. Microsoft came to the rescue with this Windows XP Mode update, and this update allows you to run this product on a machine that does not support hardware-based or processor-based virtualization and a BIOS with hardware-based virtualization settings. So, if I have a machine that doesn't support virtualization, I need to download this fix. that will give all machines access to this product. I will say this. It always runs better on a virtualized machine, meaning hardware virtualization. It does run a little bit slower on a machine that does not support hardware-based virtualization. I've tested it extensively. It is not a major difference, but you will notice a difference. However, at least you have the opportunity to use the product and to get your applications up and running. Okay, as I said, I already downloaded everything I need. The machine I'm running this on does support virtualization at the processor, so I did not use the XPMode update. All right, let's go ahead and close this window, and lo and behold, we have our XPMode Virtual PC up and running on the desktop now. Okay, and really this is where the similarities between the older product and the new one end. What we're going to do is simply install an application into the XPMode VM. Well, how do we do that? Well, notice up here it says USB. I can click USB. Now, this is not the VM, meaning XP. This is the actual XP mode VM, yes, but this is the virtual PC menu for USB. So the new virtual PC supports USB. Basically, you put your USB device into the physical port on your machine. It finds it, it installs it, it creates the virtual shared driver for it, and then you can basically mount it automatically into the virtual PC console, and it will show up right under Start, My Computer. Of course, I'm in the XP machine, remember, and there are all of the drives at the bottom under Other. All of these devices and drives that you see, I didn't map these drives. This was done automatically. And these drives are mapped from the physical machine to the virtual machine. The G drive here, let me click that G drive, that is the USB stick I have in the side of my machine. Now for this example, I have a program called Malwarebytes Anti-Malware. You've probably heard of it. I know for a fact it doesn't work in Windows 7. That's why I'm using it here today. It is also a very quick install. That's also why I'm using it here today. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on that to execute it. Let me close this, and behind there we will see the execution of the install. We're going to go ahead and just quickly whip through the install. I chose this one because it doesn't work, and it is also very, very fast. There we go. The install is almost finished. You will see a link show up on the desktop. There's the link. I'm going to uncheck the box to update and launch the anti-malware program and choose Finish. Now, if this is the real world and I was using this application, of course I would do full updates for any application that I install. You will treat this Windows XP mode as if it's sitting next to you on another physical machine. You need service packs and updates and so forth. That is why I mentioned to you that when you go through the actual extraction and install process for the XP mode VM, one of those options will say, hey, do you want to turn on Windows Dynamic Updates? You will always choose yes. Treat it like a normal machine. In the background now, when you do your normal Windows 7 updates, you will also pull down updates for this XP virtual machine. The users will have no idea. They'll be downloaded and installed right into the XP mode VM. Okay, so what have I done? Just to recap. Installed it. I have the application now installed in the XP mode VM. Here's the interesting part. I'm going to go to Control-Alt-Delete, the button above, and I'm going to shut down the XP mode VM. Notice what I'm doing, shutting down. I'm not hibernating, I'm not doing anything, temporarily pausing it. I'm shutting the VM down completely. Very interesting how this works. There it is. It's shut down. Well, how can I prove to you it's shut down? Very simple. Click the Start button, the All Programs link, scroll to the bottom. There's Windows Virtual PC. There's Windows Virtual PC link in there. Notice what it says here. Windows XP mode powered down. This is turned off. Very interesting now. I'm going to close it. Well, now the user interacts with the machine. How do they interact? Very simple. Windows Start button, All Programs link, back to the Windows Virtual PC folder. And if you didn't notice it already, you will see there is a new folder there, Windows XP Mode Applications. I'm going to go ahead and double click that. Notice what shows up there. malware, anti-malware, double click it, that is your application. Now, for the first time, it takes a little bit of time to launch the application. Right now, there's a process going on behind the scenes whereby the application is being wrapped in a special wrapper of environment variables that the Windows 7 installation knows and understands. This is how really the application is going to run in really a concealed environment, meaning this application will not have access to the registry, to the program files group, to the Windows System 32 folder, to the drivers folder. Remember, it's virtualized. It is secure from the Windows 7 operating system. However, it acts as if it's installed directly within the Windows 7 operating system. So your user really has no idea what's going on in the background. Frankly, they don't need to know what's going on in the background. They just know that on their desktop they have a link to whatever it is. Maybe their accounting software, in this case the Malwarebytes software product. You can do this with any type of application, whether it's antivirus or anti-malware or applications for document creation, you name it, you can install the application. If it runs on XP, you can virtualize it with the XPMode VM. Well, everybody, here you go. Here's Malwarebytes running right on top of Windows 7. Does it work? Let's click Scan and find out. So I click the Scan button. There you go. The scanning's working. It's scanning C Windows System 32 right now. That is the local drive on this machine. It is running right inside of the system tray. Here it is down here on the link. Everything is running as it should. There it is, running right there and so forth, running perfectly. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click, obviously, abort the scan. I don't need the scan anymore. We'll go ahead and we will stop it. I'm going to choose exit and choose yes. Well, what do we do next? Kind of crazy to have your users end up going to this all programs Windows Virtual PC location every time they want to run an app. Well, no problem. Move it. Right click on it, send it to the desktop. There you go. You have a link on the desktop. Pin it to the bar. Do whatever you like. There it is. You can move the links around. Remember, the application has full access to the desktop. The application has full access to the default save location, which may be the My Documents folder, depending on the app. You can print to your local printer. You can email a document created with it. The user interacts with the application seamlessly, and you've just reduced all of those nagging questions to the help desk about multiple desktops in the single environment. I want to thank you for listening to this video. I hope that if you have any questions, please consider Global Knowledge for your future training needs, your future testing needs. Again, try Windows 7 products. They work fantastically well. Thank you very much for listening to this today.